Okay, welcome to the next part of our journey, and we're going to remove ourselves from the gates of Mordor, and we're going to head south into Ithilien, and we're going to see if we can get a little bit along the road that way. You'll notice that now we are in a widescreen format, and I'm hoping a little bit that this is going to work a little bit better in the video on YouTube, but it's a bigger file. I've just been playing around with a little bit of formatting and trying to get the video working for me. So the hobbits leave the gate and they head south, trying to skirt away from the road, and eventually they get onto the side of the road next to the mountain, which they feel safer for some reason next to the mountains of Mordor. But we're going to make our way over to the road, and as you can see, it's not particularly pleasant area, and if we walk through that stuff I think we get burned, but we're going to go for it anyway. Let's hope we survive. Oh, let's get out of there. Okay, so we're heading down the road, and I've just been, as I say, in this particular video, really, I'm just testing out. I'm hoping this will work, and we'll post it and we'll see, and if it doesn't work, I'll do this again. But I'm hoping that we're going to get much better resolution in YouTube. Basically what I'm doing is I'm doing the video in 4K and high resolution recording, which takes up a lot of disk space and takes a long time to upload. But it seems to me that the HD resolution in YouTube, by the time it's downsampled and everything, is much, much better than just sending up an HD video. So let's see how it goes. So we are trying to skirt away from the mountains. As you see, Mordor's on our left there. Let's look with our... we're running into bushes now. What am I doing? So... seems both the left and the right mouse button are steering me at the moment, which seems weird. I'm supposed to be able to look with one and steer with the other. Let's see. Oh, well. We'll keep going. We're trying to get out of this area, and what we're going to do is we're going to come to a little bit of a later part in the story, because the host of the West has already marched from Gondor at this time, and they have made their way up to... As you can see, we've already had the campment outside the gate, and the host of the West has made its way up as far as the edge of this area, and that's how the game sets up this particular time period. Anyway, not much to see here. Rather nasty looking sky, which is in keeping with quite a lot of the stuff. Although Angmar, in the first series, and we don't go to Angmar at any of the Lord of the Rings with any of the Lord of the Rings characters, but let's just have a look at the sky. Not exactly pleasant. I'm trying not to pan. I discovered that I've taken a lot of videos with my phone and stuff, and I've done pans, and they're actually pretty much unwatchable, because if you pan too fast it makes everybody sick. So anyway, I've been trying to use those videos for various things that I'm doing on my education channel. I'll put a link below if anybody's interested in going to see it. Would love your subscription, would love you following, and you might enjoy it. But anyway, here we are heading south. We're trying to get to Ithilien and Gollum would have been leading them through all sorts of back paths, staying off the road, but there's nobody on this road really. Funnily enough, in the game, the roads are relatively safe. It's only off the road that you run into mobs and things that are going to attack you. But this character is still too high a level to be attacked, but that is not going to last long. In a little while, we're going to run into trouble. And I don't have any characters that can get through Minas Morgul without being attacked. I haven't got anybody that high a level, so... we're just going to have to busk it and see how it works. Anyway, we're heading through the desolation at the gates of Mordor and no man's land. and we're heading towards the camp of the host, which the hobbits, of course, Frodo and Sam didn't see because they weren't here at that stage. So at about the time Frodo and Sam are moving along here, it's really just the Battle of Helm's Deep and Isengard are going on. And Battle of Helm's Deep at about this stage, maybe a little bit before the Battle of Helm's Deep, maybe the orcs being caught at the eaves of Fangorn. So it is kind of tricky to follow exactly who is where at what time in the Lord of the Rings, the book, because Tolkien writes the book and devotes essentially an entire of the Two Towers. The first book is devoted to the actions of the Broken Fellowship west of the river, and then the second book of the Two Towers is devoted to Frodo and Sam making their way into Mordor and around this area. So this is the second book of the Two Towers, or the fourth book of Lord of the Rings, and it all gets rather confusing because it's not really a trilogy. Tolkien wrote it as a single story, as we've mentioned before in this. Here's the camp of the host, and we'll pass a few familiar faces here maybe, but we'll try and pretend they're not there, because when Frodo and Sam come this way, they're not there. That was Peregrine Took, goodness me. Okay, and they've got they're lighting up a few quest rings. Switch that back on. Anyway, we're going to race up through the camp of the host and get out the other side and get into Ithilien. Notice that I take my face away from the dynamic mic, and the cough isn't quite so bad. Not as loud for you, it's as loud for me, of course, but anyway. Anyway, camp of the host. There's a... we have vaults in, so that's a vault keeper, and when you keep all your stuff in a vault and you run into the vault keepers, but a VIP player. Okay, we're now into Ithilien, and I actually, just to make this a little bit different, this video, I recorded a little bit of the description of Ithilien from the book. Here we go. Here's Ithilien, and if you look up here, we've got beautiful starry sky, and I'm hoping this renders beautifully now in the video. We'll see. And it looks a bit... you see here there's patches of starlight that are repeating, so this is of course a lot of it is a patchwork thing. But there you go, beautiful. It looks good, looks great, and as we move into Ithilien, I do have a little bit of an introductory passage from the book about the land of Ithilien, and I'm going to stick it in here just to see how it goes. I think it takes about a minute and a half. Day was opening in the sky, and they saw that the mountains were now much further off, receding eastward in a long curve that was lost in the distance. Before them, as they turned west, gentle slopes ran down into dim hazes far below. All about them were small woods of resinous trees, fir and cedar and cypress, and other kinds unknown in the Shire, with wide glades among them, and everywhere there was a wealth of sweet-smelling herbs and shrubs. The long journey from Rivendell had brought them far south of their own land, but not until now in this more sheltered region had the hobbits felt the change of clime. Here spring was already busy about them. Fronds pierced moss and mould, larches were green-fingered, small flowers were opening in the turf, birds were singing. Ithilien, the garden of Gondor, now desolate, kept still a dishevelled dryad loveliness. Okay, so here's us appearing in Ithilien in the evening. And we're going to make our way along. Mordor's on the other side of these mountains up here to our left. And the hobbits, Frodo and Sam, tend to stay on the mountain side of the road because I guess they felt safer. Oh, got a bit of lag there. So we've got the road running along here. And Frodo and Sam and Gollum. Gollum, of course, is with us. Precious is. And they are walking along the side of the road here on the left. So I'm hoping this video comes out nicely. We get much better resolution than before. Basically what I did was I've switched to using the NVIDIA software, which is for recording. OBS Studio is what I was using before, and it doesn't seem to do too well at higher resolutions. But the NVIDIA software seems to do fine at higher resolutions. And so this video ends up being really quite large. We're recording at my full screen resolution, which is 3440 by 1080, I think. And by the time that's sent up to sent along to YouTube, when it I tested with another video and it came out pretty well. I think I thought the higher resolution, the HD video, was much better, and in fact you can get a 4K video eventually. It might take a while to process to 4K, but what I'm going to do is release the video a little bit later. So I'm going to upload it, let it process at least to high HD, and that'll take a few hours, and then I'll schedule it to release tomorrow, maybe somewhere about tomorrow afternoon. It means the whole process is going to take a little bit longer posting the video, but in the end, if I stick to some kind of schedule, there won't be any real difference in the rate at which the videos come out. So here we are heading down to an area where, in fact, I think it was this gully here is where the Frodo and Sam and Gollum camped, because this I think there might even be a campsite here, but I'm not going to look for it. But this area here is between the two mountains. We've got this narrow gorges where the rangers of Ithilien ambush the southerners, and Sam gets to see an elephant. He gets to see an elephant, and then Frodo and Sam are captured by the rangers. Spoilers, by the way. I think I'll put a notice at the beginning of the video again. But Frodo and Sam are captured by the rangers and Faramir. And Faramir takes them to their secret hideout, which we're going to see if we can find. I'm not sure if this character can get in there, because this character hasn't done the quest, but we will see if that'll work. Anyway, there's some toads. And it may be that hereabouts there's some kind of campsite, but in fact I think that there is a little quest that goes to find the elephant as well, the muck, in this part of the game, but this particular character hasn't done it. I may have to switch to a character that has done all these quests, but we'll see. Hoping this will work, and we'll get into the Annun Hen, I think, is it? Where we'll find out the name of it in a minute, where the rangers have their hideout. Somewhere up here, I'm thinking. Let's see if I've got my bearings right. It's a wee bit hard without the map. Oh, is that must be lag. That hill cannot stop us. This hill is not too steep for us. Here we go. We're away again. Wee bit of lag. The game does lag a little bit occasionally, but really, in the end, you just get used to it. Now, somewhere around here, I'm gonna see the entrance. I may have to pull up a map. Not quite sure. Let's just get over here and we'll have a look and see. This looks good. This is looking familiar. There we go. There's the... Oh. We've already got the stable master from here. We'll just make sure.
These are troublesome times indeed.
They are certainly troublesome times. Is that Sauron guy? Here we go. Henneth Annun. That's the name of the place. Henneth Annun. And we have various quests from the rangers here. I'm quite surprised you can walk in here without doing all the quests, because in the book, Frodo and Sam have to be blindfolded before they're even allowed in here. But we're going to have a look at a couple of things in Henneth Annun. And the first one is going to be up here, I think. It'll just save us backtracking. So we'll go up to the top here. And we have the window onto the little pool where, and we might have to be careful here in case we fall out, where we can see Gollum and all other action happening below. So we'll just be really, really careful here. Make sure we don't go flying over the edge. And there we go. So this is the pool where Gollum goes fishing. I'm not going to go any closer to that edge because I don't particularly want to have to pick myself up and get back here. So there's a ranger on lookout duty. So that's kind of interesting. And then we're going to head back down. And we're going to head down to the Henneth Annun quarters, where the rangers, the living quarters where the rangers hole up and repair their weapons and drink their meat and all the rest of it. Anyway, sorry, this video's been a little bit about just... Hey, there's a player. This video's been a little bit about just me doing some technical stuff and trying to get a better view, but I think you'll agree Ithilien was a nice place to walk through, hopefully with high resolution and better graphics. There is the waterfall coming past us, and here are the quarters for the Rangers of Ithilien under the leadership of Faramir. I don't know if you know it, but Tolkien admitted that Faramir was the character he most identified with, and possibly was the one who was most autobiographical in the books of him. He certainly put many of his own personal interests and personal little campaigns into the books. He was very fond of trees, and of course we're going to go and see more forests later when we take Pippin and Merry to Fangorn. But we're going to stop here at Henneth Annun. I'm going to end this video, and hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you'll join me for the next time. Amazing for you all to still be with me on this. This has been a very long trip, and we're still going. We're going to try and get as far as the pass of Cirith next, and we're going to see. I think we run into trouble there because I don't have a character that can get through there without fighting, so we may have to fight our way through. Sorry about that. I really wanted this just to be a walk, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I'll see you in the next one.